Welcome to my Sketching with Frank program. Now, the first part is going to be dedicated to one of the most important things in any activity is warming up. It loosens you up. It gets the mind free. It gets the hand free. The physical activity starts to become more flowing, more rhythmic. These are important things to have when you start to really sketch. A fundamental thing you need to first consider is how you hold the pen. I use 3 fingers and I hold it fairly far back, which gives me a sort of loose, flexible feeling. I'm in control of the pen more so than just with 2 fingers, but the holding it far back gives me almost a sensitivity to the sketch that allows me to sketch incredibly lightly or incredibly hard. My technique is just to lay the arm on the paper in an area where your elbow is basically able to be stable and fixed, and then sweeping lines through. This will give you almost a technique of being very confident with your sketches. Lines that reflect flow, lines that reflect confidence, lines that reflect dynamicism, and lines that reflect speed. Is when I ask a designer or a young student to draw a straight line, at first they'll start out with a little bit of a scratchiness, hesitancy. They might even stop, being a little bit nervous, maybe too much caffeine or not being confident actually of drawing a straight line. Now that's not too bad, but there are cases where you'll get students going a little bit like that just to make sure they're staying on track. It's not really the most nicest line you can develop. Other times, perhaps, you'll get somebody going that way and their sense of holding the pen perhaps is not as controlled as it should be. So you'll have 3 classic lines. If I was going to design or actually draw a straight line, I would do it in a much looser way. So what I'll do is do it much faster. That's almost a straight line. There's motion. It's telling you a story. So that type of line quality is what we look for when we're looking at good sketches or professional sketches. You'll see a liveliness to the line. Now let's move on to something a little bit more difficult, and that probably doesn't sound like it, but it is a curve. So what beginners do when they first start drawing curved lines is they won't have the fluidity or the consistency or the predictability of a line. They'll do something perhaps irregular. For example, now the curve will start, perhaps it will flatten off, and then it will taper downwards. So that's not really what we want when we design curves, using the elbow obviously as a pivot point. So what we're looking for when we do design a curved line is something that has a flow to it. Now a flow is a line basically that has a predictable curvature to it. So what you're doing is something that has a speeding up of it, almost a continued speeding up of it. It can go the other way, it can go that way, it can go basically in any direction you want to do it. But what I'm talking about is a line, again, that tells a story, that has a movement to it, it's packed with energy, and it translates as a confident line. The next warm-up exercise that I use is circles. Now, circles are going to be one of the most important things that you're going to have to learn how to draw. It's critical, it's elemental to car design. We're going to be drawing circles a lot. But the problem with a lot of people is when they draw circles for the first time, it's either jagged, too slow, or they draw it out of proportion. Now, none of those circles are very nice. So what I would do is pretty much just use my whole arm, not my wrist, and just start sketching in the circle lightly, like that. You can draw different sizes, you can draw faster, you can draw harder, but the important thing is to get a flow. And that's being loose, letting your arm basically flow, your whole arm. I don't use the wrist because that would really give you a warped circle. So just be very fluid when you're sketching your circles. You can start to see that something fairly round, if I want to be accurate, is there. The control is there. That's what makes the sketch look professional. Now let's move on to something a little bit more difficult even. Just as critical, just as important for car design is the famous ellipse. Now, how do you do an ellipse? Well, you squash that circle and you stay loose. Now, you're starting pretty much with a circle, and then you're starting to squash it. As you see what I'm doing here, you can start to see the ellipse becoming more squashed, more squashed. This is something we use quite a bit. You're basically working off an axis that allows you to draw it symmetrically. All these here are related to circular objects, things that give you basically the elements that we will use oftentimes when we're sketching cars. So remember, ellipses are critical. Now moving on. Number 7, quite fun to do this one, quite a challenge, but it does work very well to loosen me up when I'm using it. And I basically start to do circles, as we learned before, but in a much more flowing pattern. So what you're going to get is an overlap of circles without lifting your pen off the paper. It's not very pretty what I'm doing here, but it does show you the wrong way to do it. Now, if I was going to do this and the way I use it, it's a lot more flow. Basically, I do something like that. You can start to see that there becomes a rhythm to it. It's quite a bit faster, obviously, but it is giving me a rhythm, and there's a consistency to the height of the line, and the flow is what's loosening me up. Now, another one that is very similar, but also probably a little bit more difficult, exercise number 8 would be to do the same thing, trying to keep the height of them equal in that, but leaning it a little bit. So you're actually not doing circles, you're doing more like what would be an ellipse action or movement. So you do this. And that is starting to get that flow, that rhythmic flow of the line that is very important, very critical to sketching. Number 9 can be very fun too. It's a little bit more tedious, perhaps, a little bit slower. But basically, you just want to set up 2 parallel lines. So you have that set and you have this set here. Now, what I will do in between those lines there is the alphabet as nicely and as elementary as I can do it. Alphabets are great because they have a combination of vertical lines, horizontal lines, and curves. And you'll end up with some beautiful ways of handling lines, curvatures. But the fact that you can actually write in a style that is consistent, the A relates to the G, the H relates to the C in different ways. But of course, that relationship is something that starts to trigger your mind in a way that you're looking at relationships of letters and numbers and lines that can all communicate the same language. Now, the 10th one is an exercise that I use myself quite a bit. I don't use too many of these past ones. These are basically development exercises, but my 10th one is what gives me pretty much a combination of all the past ones. But what it is your signature. My signature oftentimes is commented that it looks very stylized, very designed, very artistic. Well, I practice it a lot. It's not casual that it looks like that. So if I was to write that slowly, I don't think I would be able to replicate that properly. So try to practice in such a way that your sketching style reflects itself into your signature style. And so you'll be able to have a beautiful signature that combines, again, all these techniques into one style. So the key words are rhythm, flow, third, energy, and the fourth, which is something that you will develop as you gain experience and will start to show through your work, confidence. Now, if you keep these 4 words at the forefront of your mind as a mantra, I guarantee that you will become a much better sketcher. So that concludes the warm-up. Now that we're loose, our creative minds are open, and we can start to sketch a car.